Hello, beautiful people. It is Wednesday. How are you doing today? I am popping in here for video number 2 of our Somatic Series Spotlight. So just making sure I've got all my technology working over here. So hang tight one second. All right, we are on. Okay. All right, so if you're here with me live, say hello. And if you're catching the replay, hashtag replay, let me know you're here. Let me know you're getting this information. I'm excited to be sharing it with you. I'm not sure how long we're going to go today. We're just going to go till it stops flowing. But I wanted to really, my whole goal of this somatic series is to bring education to the forefront, because yes, I offer these services, and yes, I do coaching, and yes, there's private containers, and yes, we can do a somatic breakthrough session. All fantastic, and of course I want to work with you, but I want you to know why it's important, why this work is even in existence right now, because we as a society are so wired all the time. We are we're moving, there's so much noise out there. Social media in itself, even this platform that we're on right now, there's so much noise out there, and our nervous system was not designed for it. So if you're finding yourself exhausted, constantly exhausted, but nothing seems to fix it, if you're finding yourself snapping and irritable, if you're finding yourself depressed, if you're feeling like you can't keep up with the world, you aren't alone, okay? I felt all of those things, and I still sometimes feel those things because I'm human. I may have a coaching certification, but first and foremost, I am human, and the whole reason I got into this work was because I needed regulation. I needed to figure out how to keep myself steady when life was getting extremely dark for me. And I'm so grateful that I found it, and now that I get to teach it to other people so that you can feel empowered to use the tools when they are needed in your world, because not every day is rainbows and butterflies. It's not. It's never going to be. We aren't on this planet for that. We are here for soul evolution, and when we can maintain who we are when life gets hard, that is the goal. That is the magic, because it's beautiful when we can step into that radiant, confident woman. It's beautiful when we can magnetize all the abundance, all the love, all the attention towards us. It's beautiful when we're climbing in the world. There's so many beautiful things about it. And also, if we aren't at if our nervous system isn't prepared to handle the capacity of attention that then comes from being so radiant, we start to collapse under that. We start to collapse under that pressure. So we have to build that capacity for our nervous system to handle the good, the bad, the in-between, the discomfort of being in the unknown. Because what happens is we're going to bounce back if we're not actually rewiring anything, if we're just regulating in the moment, we're doing the breath work, we're doing the meditations, we're doing the journaling, we're using the affirmations, we're trying to slow our brain down. Those work temporarily, they work in the moment, but they don't create long-term change. And that's what this somatic work that I've been working with does. It rewires your nervous system. So maybe you don't think that this has anything to do with your nervous system. You're just moving through a rough time, or your kid's being a pain in the butt and you're snapping and they're driving you crazy, or the economy is a little crazy right now. People are holding on to their money. There's scarcity fears. There's There's so many things. And maybe you're saying, this isn't my nervous system, this is just life. It is life. And what makes it different, that person that is moving through it and it doesn't matter what's going on around them, they stay steady and they just keep going, that's the one that's going to succeed with it. The one that is going up and down and up and down and up and down and riding the roller coaster around and around and around, that's the one that's going to get burnt out. They're going to collapse when the money does come in. It's going to fly right back out the window. When love does come in, they feel unsafe with it and all the old patterns resurface again. We don't want to be going like this. We want to just be like, I've got this, I've got this, I've got this, I've got this. No matter what life throws, I've got this, I've got this. Instead of being like, ooh, I got this, or oh crap, I don't know what I'm doing. Ooh, I got this again. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I rode that roller coaster for a long ass time. It's exhausting, and that's what creates burnout. And we don't have to do it that way. We can do it totally different. We can start at the core of the body and rewire some of these patterns that surface. If you caught this last week, you know that I did not prepare. Also did not prepare again today because I was sitting here and I'm like, man, what do I want to talk about? So something's going to come through at some point here that's going to be real magical, and it's going to reach the person that it's meant to reach. That is how this process works. But I know a lot of times we also feel like our body is fighting against us because we get into situations and we're like, oh, why can't I know in my head that I don't need to worry about that. I know I have no concern. I know everything's going to be fine, but our nervous system is still like, but what if, but what if, but what if? Our heart still races, our stomach clenches, our chest tightens. Sometimes we feel it up in our shoulders, like everything just gets real stiff. Our body's not fighting against us. Our body is trying to protect us because it thinks there's a tiger in the room. It's not a tiger. Somebody said no to you. Or maybe your partner is acting different today than they acted yesterday and you don't know why, but your nervous system is like, something's wrong, danger, danger, danger. It doesn't matter how much you think, everything's fine. They can deal with their own thing. If your nervous system is still wired to their instability is my instability. Let me know if this resonates with you, or if you know somebody that needs to hear this, let me know. Tag them in the comments. I've taught nervous system regulation for a long time, and I never called it nervous system regulation because that's not exactly what I thought I was doing. I was teaching meditation, I was teaching breath work, we were doing journaling, we were doing some light somatic things like moving your hips, opening them, shaking it up, doing the womb healing, all the magical fun stuff. And I still teach that, but we also get to the core of like, what is your nervous system saying to you? What is your body speaking to you? Because at the core of all of this, it's all about nervous system health. It's more fun to talk about shaking it out or doing the meditations or the journals, because sometimes we don't want to get down to the core of what's really going on, but it's your nervous system. It's always your nervous system, the good, the bad, all the things. So I love to just stop for a second and think, let's just play this out for a second, okay? Play with me here. Close your eyes and think about the last time that you brought an idea to somebody that you were really excited about. You knew this was the answer. You knew that this was going to be the best next thing. And you took it to them and got completely shut down. I want to know, what did you feel in your body? Where did you feel it? Did you feel tightness, constriction? Maybe you had nausea, maybe you had heart racing, maybe you went blank, you went numb. Did you shut down? Did you feel like you can't say anything? What happened in your body when you felt rejection? And what transpired after that? While you were feeling rejection, did you care for your body? Did you push it away? Did you go move your body? Did you go vent to somebody? Did you numb it away later when you got home? How did you handle it? When we can treat ourselves with the love and treat our body, our temple, this beautiful thing that we call our own. It's like it holds our soul, it holds all of our organs, all of the things that makes us us. When we pay attention to what she's saying to us, we can move through things so much quicker than ever before. Because it's not that you're not going to suddenly not feel rejection in the world. It's how you move through it. And it's not just an egotistical, I don't care kind of thing. We do care. We care. Especially if you're in this group, you're probably a woman that is an empath. You're highly sensitive. You feel everybody's energy. You care. Okay? There's no problem with caring. You are not too emotional or too sensitive. What you are is dysregulated, and we can fix that. And it's not about fixing it because you're broken. It's just about making it better so that you don't fall into the same patterns, the same habits. Because what used to happen with me, when I would feel rejection, especially like, let's take the business world, for example. When I would put something out to the world, and I was like, this is it. This is going to be what makes me six figures. This is going to be what changes everybody's life. And I heard crickets. I heard nothing, no feedback, no comments. People stopped seeing my stuff. At first I was like, I got this. I got this. Everything's fine. It's all meant to be. It'll happen exactly when it's meant to. And then after like a week, my energy started shifting, started dropping. I started collapsing on that energy, that launch that I had that made everything so vibrant and radiant internally now went dull and dim. And I was like, what do I need to change? What do I need to fix? People don't like me. People don't want my work. I've got to restart the whole thing. Like something's broken here. And then I would spiral into this like not good enough hole, which you can't sell or launch from. Nobody wants to show up to the person that is like down here playing small. It's not going to happen. Fell into like victim patterns. And then it was so much that then I would numb by scrolling. When I was drinking, I used to drink. It's been like, I haven't drank in well over a year and a half. I didn't have any issues with drinking. I noticed that alcohol one drink would make my whole body just like, everything that I would celebrate with that drink would then make everything kind of crash. Like it just was like a low. And then I felt that like emotional roller coaster coming after just one drink. So I was like, this is not worth it for me. So that's why I stopped drinking. To each their own. But if you're using it for the wrong way and you're numbing, or turning on the TV and you're numbing that discomfort of rejection, that's when it becomes a problem. Because now we're not just not listening to our bodies, we are repressing things. And then it gets stored into our system. So A lot of this somatic work is really releasing aspects that have been stored over time in the body. And some things we've forgotten about. Some things we're like, oh, that doesn't bother me. But the body remembers. The body remembers everything. So maybe you feel like in your head you've worked through something, but your body is still responding to that threat. Anytime that trigger, if whatever that trigger is comes up, your body's responding. And you've learned to disassociate from your body, essentially, by numbing the discomfort of it. Because nobody taught you another way. So that's why I'm here. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're messed up. I'm not saying you're broken. I'm saying there's another way. And what if we tried this other way? What difference might it make in your life? What if you didn't collapse when you felt rejection? What if you didn't tense up when somebody rejected you and didn't freeze and didn't collapse? What if instead you're like, well, let's talk about this. And you stood strong in it because you know that your idea is amazing and you found another way to move through it instead of collapsing and retreating all the way back. That's just one example. And for me, I had to work on my earth element. I had to work on building the soil that I stood on so that I could stand strong no matter what happened. I had to work on nourishing myself, in slowing down, in trusting the process. I had to work on feeling complete within myself, that I didn't rely on external validation anymore. There's so many aspects that so many women have the same underproducing earth. So let me know if any of that resonates with you, because there is a lot of underproducing earth elements out there in the feminine world. And most of us want to feel that fire element, which is radiance, and it's excitement, and it's joy, and it's connection with community and with others. It's love. It's all of that beautiful, oof. But instead, we're feeling nowhere near that. And that's where this work comes in. And actually, I kind of want to geek out for a minute with you on the elements, because the work that I'm doing, the body mapping inside of my somatic breakthrough sessions, it works with Chinese medicine, so traditional Chinese medicine, and we talk about the elements a lot. You don't need to know any of this information, but I'd love to share it with you so you can maybe start to identify where you might be landing in the elemental cycle. Because there's certain breath works and meditations and practices that are going to work better for you based on what your dominant element is. And honestly, the best way to do this is to take my quiz that I created. I'm going to drop it in the comments here after the video. But I made a quiz to find out what is your, what survival archetype is keeping you stuck. So in that, we start to identify what element is leading your energy right now, and what we need to do to get you balanced and where you're desiring to be instead of where you are right now. So I'll drop that in the comments afterwards. So if you're curious, take a look for that. But there is a cycle. There's 5 elements. So we will start with earth, since I just was talking about that. Earth is like the mother, it's the nourisher. When it's balanced, there is nourishment, there is self-trust, there is groundedness, there is patience and tolerance. It is all like, it's like that stable, nourishing mother. When it's underproducing or out of balance, you'll either feel like exhausted, just totally exhausted and drained, undernourished, potentially even feeling depressed. You might feel like enough isn't enough. Your boundaries aren't great. You're like people pleasing. You're all over the place and like over giving yourself. Or you may fall into addictive tendencies where you're like splurging on shopping or retail therapy, or splurging on the sweets department, or splurging on the drinks department, or whatever it may be. That is the earth element. Then we've got metal. Metal, balanced metal, is very reflective. It is tall, it is straight, it is firm, it is steady. It's reflective of your inner world, and of what's going on around you. It's really, it's like that armor. So you have great boundaries. And also just like tall and strong no matter what. Like the soldier, tall and strong. Now, if you've got too much metal going on, you've got too much armor, you're not letting people in, but you want to let people in, but for some, you got this armor stuck that you can't seem to melt away. It can be like too reflective, like you're constantly like ruminating on thoughts that don't need to be cycling through your head anymore. It could be control, like holding on to things and not letting them go. Or opposite, maybe you are still really struggling with the boundaries. People are walking all over you, not having any like reflective abilities, like you're struggling to see your own blind spots, struggling to see, like journaling sounds like it's so far away because you have no idea how to even communicate with yourself, or reflect on things. That's metal. Water that is balanced is all about flowing. It's our creativity. It's like going with the flow of life and surrendering to whatever. It's kind of like being in a tube and going down the river and just like, I've got this. I'm safe. I'm protected. Whatever comes my way, comes my way. When it's out of balance, you can be either you've got so many creative ideas that they just keep flowing to you, but you're not taking any action on any of them. It could be that you're like stuck in fear mode, not trusting the process, not going with the flow. You're like stuck, you're frozen, you're like literally frozen, can't move forward, not sure which direction to take, just frozen. It could show up as like too many fears about the future that is like prohibiting you from moving forward. That could be the water element. Then we've got wood. Wood is like, balanced wood is that movement forward. We are feeling our purpose. We know our direction. We are taking the steps forward and making it happen. Underproducing wood is like you're not taking action. You're not sure what your purpose is. You're not sure which direction you want to go. You're kind of wishy-washy on what your next step is. Or you're just going, but there's no direction, there's no purpose. You're just doing a lot of work, but it's not actually going anywhere. So that's how wood can appear. And then we've got fire, the last of the elements. Fire is that, like I said, that joy, that expansion, that connection, that money, that calling it in, that radiance, that confidence. That is fire. Underproducing fire, it's like somebody poured water on your fire and you're dim, like you've shut your light out from the world, you're afraid to be seen, or you're not being seen. You might be seeking reassurance from other people, insecure, afraid to show up and take space in the world. Or you could be like manic, like overjoy, like hyper, and then crash, and then hyper, and then crash. It could also be like irritability, like that snappy, because you're just going, and not able to slow down. If you're struggling to slow down, you may have some overproducing fire going on. So I'd be curious to know in the comments what element resonates most with you right now. I'm curious just to see what you lean towards. Because I personally, when I was going through this course, I was a little bit of everything and I could not identify it at first. And that's why I've now been certified and figuring it out. Because it makes a difference on what tools we use when we know exactly what your nervous system is responding to. Which element is your nervous system responding like? Because if I give a fire breath to someone who is already feeling like, let's say you are looking to tap into your intuition, you want to go with the flow, you want that creativity of water, but I give you a fire breath, you're gonna walk away and be like, WTF, Candace, that did not do me any good. Now I just feel all jittery and like frustrated, and all I wanted to do was feel peace. That is why some of these practices, and maybe some of the things that you've hopped on and you've done free on the internet somewhere didn't work because they didn't target your specific nervous system and what your needs are. And the body mapping method that we use, these elements, these meridians in the body, the things that I use in these somatic sessions, they are backed by science. The body mapping is trademark name. It's been proven to work. It's been proven to work. The scientists tore into it and were like, we can't, this is working. We see how this works. It all makes sense. So it's not something that you pay for and then you're like, meh, maybe it'll do something. It is something that will change your life if you're ready to change your life. And by changing your life, you don't need a ton of time for it. You spend an hour together in a somatic breakthrough session, and then and in that I do your body mapping assessment. We do some mindset coaching, and I give you a curated experience that you practice every single day. 1 to 3 minutes every single day. That can be something as simple as listening to a song and doing this, which I know it looks silly, sounds silly. It all makes sense when we do a somatic breakthrough session. It could be doing a breath, a simple breath. It could be doing a movement that looks like this. 1 to 3 minutes. 1 to 3 minutes of your day to rewire your nervous system. Wouldn't that be worth it to you? I know if I had learned this stuff years ago, I'd have paid a lot more for it back then because I didn't understand. I didn't want to go through all the things that I've had to go through, and I trust the process. I know I'm exactly where I am. I needed to learn what I needed to learn. And last year, breaking me down led me right into this somatic work. So it all happens exactly as it's meant to. And if now feels like the right time for you, let me know. I've got the somatic breakthrough sessions. They're $189. It comes with your detailed body mapping analysis, as well as, like I said, mindset work and a prescription that you get to use. And I check in with you after a week and after 2 weeks to see how the process is going. How do you feel? Do we need to adjust? So I've got those. I also have the Unshakable Woman, which is a 3-month container with me. It's a private container, so private coaching. And we focus on getting you to become the unshakable woman, the one that doesn't fall when life gets crunchy. In that, it includes the somatic breakthrough session, as well as 2 soul sessions, which are hour-long video calls where we dive into whatever it is that you've got going on. It also includes unlimited chat support. So I use the Voxer app, and it's a free app, and it's voice notes and text notes and pictures, videos, whatever, unlimited for that 3 months together. And that is $1,111. So 1111, I love my angel numbers. So that is what I offer right now. And as always, I have the crystal cave going. So if you are looking for some crystals, some tangible tools to add to your practices, let me know. Go check out Candace's Crystal Cave because I've got all kinds of fun, exciting things in there. And I go live every other Tuesday night in there, in case you didn't know, with new specials. And I also do patches, phototherapy patches that help with regulating the nervous system as well. It also helps with energy, with sleep. It actually activates dormant stem cells so that you can like turn the clock back on your time, on your body and life. There's been some really, really incredible things that have come through from people that have been wearing that. I personally use it to help regulate my nervous system because I got a 2-year-old, and 2-year-olds are challenging. I don't know. Like I said in my post earlier, I am a coach and I teach all these things, and I'm human. And I'm so glad that I have these tools to help me, because an overtired, hangry toddler that you pick up from school and drive with an hour with after school is a whole different level of let me breathe this one out. If you've had toddlers, you know what I mean. So I'm grateful for these tools, and I actually teach them to my son. I work on regulating his emotions and like, okay, we're moving through something right now. Let's just ride the wave. Let it come up and let it come back out. And maybe we'll breathe a little bit. And yeah, I'm just really glad that I found this work. And that's why I'm bringing it to you. So, I don't know. I don't think anybody's on here live with me at the moment. So if you are, let me know. But if anybody has questions about any of this, I would love to talk about it. I would love to answer your questions, because if you have a question, somebody else probably does too. And I think that what's really powerful to know about this is that you can do all the mindset work you want. You can work with another coach. You can do therapy for years. You can do all these incredible things, but if you're not getting the body and the nervous system to recognize when things are not danger, your mind isn't the first reaction. Your nervous system is. Your body is wired to protect you. And if it feels like something's a threat, it doesn't matter how much you talk yourself out of it being a threat. What matters is your body feeling safety in itself, so that when that danger occurs, you can move through it. You can stay steady and then blend in that mindset work to make the lasting changes. So I feel like that's what I've got for you today. I will be back next Wednesday at noon for more goodness, and maybe something more powerful will come through than today. Today's been kind of a, like as we learn about all the different, let me put it this way. We don't always have to fix our moods. It's not, when I talk about this work, it's not about fixing your moods. It's about allowing yourself to feel what you're feeling and feel safe in doing it. And today I am not bubbly and bright. I got my orange lipstick on to match my shirt, but I'm not bubbly and bright. I'm also not down. I'm not sad. I'm not frustrated. I'm not irritated. I'm not any of those things. I'm just me today in a mood. And it's not a bad mood. I've definitely had better moods, but I'm not trying to fix it. I'm not trying to regulate out of it. But earlier I was feeling low and unmotivated. Unmotivated was the word. honestly, I think this is a lot of hormonal things going on today, but because hello women, if you know, you know. But earlier I was feeling unmotivated, so what did I do? I pulled out my somatic tools to help me get confident again, to feel motivated, to feel inspired, and I spent 9 minutes doing a series of 3 different things. One of them was like literally going like this for 3 minutes with a little chant. One of them was going like this for 3 minutes with a breath, and the other one was hands like this, up overhead like this for 3 minutes, and sitting in the discomfort of that position because it is not comfortable. And it shifted a lot for me so that I could get on with my day, because I was in a spot where I felt like I just couldn't focus. I couldn't move forward. So I did the practice. All of a sudden, all of the work came. The to-do list started getting done. All these things happened. Then I got my lipstick on and everything was good. Everything's fine. So it's not about changing who you are and changing your moods and feeling like you're wrong to be feeling any sort of way. I never want you to feel that way. I will love you in all of the ways that you show up in the world, because that's how we deserve to be loved. And I'm a safe space to hold all of those ways. Whether you're bawling your eyes out, ugly crying because we're moving through something, or whether you've got anger or rage, or you're happy and you're like bursting at the seams. I love you in all of those ways, and I hold you in all of those ways when we're in coaching together. And if we desire to be a different energy, like I was this morning, we have tools to shift that. So that's the last thing I got to say about that today. I love you guys. I will see you next Wednesday for video 3 of 6 in the Spotlight Somatic Series. Let me know in the comments if this was helpful for you. And again, if you have any questions or something that you want me to dive into deeper, I would love to do that with you. So talk to you soon.